I feel like I have a very specific message for a very specific person, or maybe a group of people that are at a crossroads in their life. And at the end of these two roads that you stand in front of, there are doors. And I know those doors aren't very well drawn, but in my mind's eye, what I began to understand is that sometimes in life, we could take a left-hand turn and have an open door, but it not be God's will. And at these turns, like typically these turns come at a cost, whether it's a relational issue, or maybe you got let go from work, or maybe you're just at a crossroads and you don't know what to do with your life. That's typically what creates this tension between an open and a closed door. But this is what I really began to see, that sometimes we can take a left-hand turn towards an open door and it not be the right decision. It feels like the right thing to do, but the scriptures actually talk about how the word of the Lord tested the hearts of different people throughout the Bible. That at these crossroads, what seems easy, what seems like an obvious open door is a test. And the actual right answer is the closed door, that at the end of this upcoming season, it might feel like a closed door. It might feel like a relationship has come to an end, or a season at work has come to an end, and it feels like a dead end. But at that dead end, there is so much happening in our lives that in these closed door seasons, this is where the testing and the purifying of our hearts really happen, where we can stop leaning on our own understanding. We can stop leaning on our own will and our own knowledge, because in these closed door seasons, when it seems like everything is at a standstill, God is moving in our hearts and mind. He's teaching us obedience. He's teaching us how to walk through the seasons of our life. And sometimes it requires patience, and it requires standing still and not getting what you want. So like I said, this message is for someone who is at a crossroads in their life, and what seems like an open door, the obvious, easy choice where things can just keep going. You can just move on with your life and keep going. I'm telling you to take a moment to discern if that's really God's will, because sometimes the pauses, the closed doors, the areas where we have to sit back and not just plow forward in our lives are where the purifying of our hearts happen. It's where we actually learn to obey and understand God's wisdom. So I have a question for you, and the question is, are you at a crossroads? And if so, which door are you going to walk through? So comment below, and I'll see you guys soon.